Hiya. Just out for my morning walk. Got me shades on because it's very sunny. It's a glorious morning. I'm just walking through the woods, so it's wonderful. The air's nice and fresh and it's lovely. Right, topic for today's discussion, or wisdom, or opportunity for growth, as I like to call it, blessings. Do you feel that you have a blessed life? If not, why is that? Could it be because of the childhood you've had, the relationships you've had, the situation you find yourself in now? Are you always looking for the negative, the glass half empty, instead of half full and brimming over? Have you changed your lens which you view your life through recently? What I mean by that is, when I was a young child, I was physically abused by my mum. She battered me every day of my life up to me running away at 16. She used to give me sick notes for school so that I didn't have to get undressed for PE, so the teachers wouldn't see me bruises. And I allowed her to do that. I had to take ownership in my part of that abuse because I allowed me to be silent. I didn't tell anybody. I didn't ask for help. I was too frightened. Fear made me where I couldn't even speak at times because I was terrified. I used to lay in bed at night, shaking like a leaf, curled up in a ball in fetal position, waiting for that gate to go when she'd come home from work drunk. She used to work in a bar. And know that if the door to the downstairs door, if the door at the bottom of the stairs opened, I were in for a good hiding. She didn't need an excuse. She just used to do it. And I hated that woman for the longest of time, and I'm now 61. And it's only 2.5, 3 years ago that I were able to forgive her. I learnt from doing a lot of soul searching that your perceptions of your life, yourself, your relationships, the people around you, your work, your environment, your employer, are shown to you through the lens that you view them from. So if you're always looking for the negative, you'll find it. Literally, every time you look, you'll always find a negative. It's a lot harder to find the positives, though. I realised that I'd allowed myself to become a victim and carried on this victimhood throughout my teenage and adult life, not even realising it, because I'd allowed what I'd suffered as a child to create and form my limiting beliefs about myself, about adults, about parents, about family life, etc., without questioning it, because that were all I knew. So I just carried on and thought all parents were like that, all families were like that. You couldn't trust an adult. They always hurt you. You wasn't lovable. You wasn't valued. You wasn't enough. You wasn't loved. And all these beliefs that I'd created in my mind were not factual. It's just the lens that I viewed the situations through. So I realised as well that if I changed the way I looked at the situations and myself and other people, I could change the emotion that I felt inside, and also the beliefs that I had for a better emotion and a better belief and a better outcome. So that's what I started doing. So I wrote down everything I felt was negative in my relationship with my mum, the things she did to me, the things she said to me. All these things obviously caused trauma in my mind, in my body, because of the physical beatings I got. And then I wrote down all the positive things that I could take away from it. And you might think to yourself, positive? What do you mean positive? How can you be positive about something like that? But you can, because I took ownership of the fact that I never asked for help. I never told anybody. I never tried to stop it. I just curled up in a ball in a fetal position and allowed her to beat me. Because I was too fearful. And I continued to be fearful all my life, up till a few years ago. But then I realised that because of how I'd been trapped by my mum, I didn't know her own story from how she grew up, in the fact that the tools that she had at the time to become a parent may not have been the best tools, but they're the only ones that she had at the time. And who am I to judge her? Just like who is anybody to judge me, or you for that matter, for the tools that you have in your toolbox of life. So what I realised was that because I'd come through so much trauma throughout my childhood, it had taught me to be independent, because I ran away from home at 16. It had taught me compassion for others in pain. It had taught me life skills, because I had to then learn to manage money, budget, find a home, furnish that home. It taught me empathy for those who are struggling and in pain and suffering. It taught me how to be strong. It taught me how to adapt. It taught me so many things that I couldn't see growing up through my life until I looked back on everything a few years ago. And I'm thankful for that, because where I am now, I'm so happy and content. I wouldn't change it for the world, even if I had to go back and relive all the beatings every day for 16 years. So this shows you that if you change your lens that you view things with, you can change how you feel about certain things, people, emotions, situations, circumstances, family, jobs, everything. And that's what I decided to do. I changed my lens. So everything that were negative linked to my mum, what I wrote down, I burnt. I burnt the piece of paper, and I set an intention beforehand that once I burnt all these negative energies linked to me and my mum's relationship, that I was going to be feeling absolutely marvellous. And I was. And I realised that who am I to judge anybody, including my mum? Because to her, beating hell out of your kids might be what's all she know. Her mum might to beat hell out of her. And that's what she thought a parent did. And I know now for a fact that my grandma did beat her with a walking stick. So it's learnt behaviour. A lot of it is learnt beliefs, learnt behaviour, limiting beliefs, not being open to question things. So I've been able now to look on the positives that it's brought me to where I am now. And I love the person I've become through all the pain and the trauma. I can honestly say I'm proud of my achievements. I'm retired now. I've retired 11 years early. I don't have to worry about the abundance side of thing. It's learnt me to pre-plan. It's learnt me to protect myself from future abuse after I ran away from home. So I've learnt all these life coping skills, which benefited me in the long run, where I managed to work 1, 2 or 3 jobs at once. I invested. I bought properties. You know, it brought me to where I am now, where I'm really content with my life. I've got a loving partner, money in the bank, and pay my bills. I'm so blessed. So by changing your lens, you can change how you feel inside, which is a blessing, and use it as a strength, not a weakness. So I hope that's given you something to think about with your life and your relationships and your childhood and the things that you've gone through. And perhaps you might need your choice. You've always got a choice. You can choose to be happy. You can choose to be sad. You can choose to be inspirational. You can choose to be negative. You can choose to be adventurous. You can choose to be creative. You can choose to be lonely because you don't do anything to make connection. The more closed off you are, the less people want to be around you. So always be open to new possibilities, and they'll find you. You know, people will come into your life if you learn to love yourself unconditionally. And that's the main aim in this game of life, to learn to love yourself unconditionally. Once you learn to do that and get rid of all the toxic crap in your mind, people will want to be around you. You exude a certain light inside without you seeing it, and people want to be around you. They want to get to know you. They want to know why you're so happy all the time, why you're so content. Why can't they be like that? You know, they'll pick your brains. They'll say, well, why, you know, how have you got to this? Why are you like this? You know, so share it. Share the information. You know, teach people how to love themselves and see things as blessings or life lessons. Anything that happens to you is either a life lesson or a blessing. It depends on which lens you view it as. Okay? So anyway, just thought I'd pop on, give some words of my wisdom from my life. Look after yourself, keep smiling inside and out, and enjoy your day. Bye.